Have you ever wondered if you need to have your own publishing company? Well, the answer might surprise you. Today we're going to talk about that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about why it's important that every musician sets up their own publishing company through their PRO. All right. And I'm not going to tell you all the details of why. I'm actually going to show you the numbers, and then you're going to be able to make the decision of why it's important for you. Okay. So let me give you an example. Okay. We have John Smith and Susie Smith. They're going to be a married couple. And John and Susie Smith, on the weekends they go and they play shows and stuff like that. Let's say that their total yearly income for the two of them filing jointly is $50,000. Now we're just going to keep these numbers simple. All right. But again, they also, go off and they play shows on the weekends and they write and they have their own little band and stuff like that. And let's say that this last year, they really worked it hard and they focused heavily on licensing, and they were able to generate $25,000 in royalties, which means that they're also generating $25,000 in publishing royalties. We're going to assume that they own and control their own publishing. Now, they have two ways that they can handle this money. Okay. The first way is that they have their $50,000 plus their $25,000 in songwriting royalties. That's $75,000. And if you look at this image that I'm showing you right now, this is showing you the actual tax rates here in America for this year. And you can see that $75,000 fits in the 12% tax bracket. All right. So that first $75,000, that's going to be taxed at 12%. But let's say that they don't have their publishing entity set up. So their publishing money is funneling directly to them, right? It's passing through directly to them. And that's going onto their regular income statement. Okay. So now they went from $75,000 up to $100,000 in income for the year. And what did that do? Well, if we look at this chart, you can see that now they're in the 22% tax bracket. So when it comes to filing their taxes, they're going to pay 22%. Which means that they're going to pay $22,000 out of $100,000. They're going to be left with $78,000 of net income for the year. That's a pretty good year, right? But now let's look at scenario B. All right. They're going to funnel their money through their publishing entity. So their $50,000 of income plus the $25,000 of songwriting income, that's going to be their gross income filing jointly together. And that's going to be a total of, that's going to be taxed at 12% for a net income for the year of $66,000. Okay. That's a little less than the $78,000, but look at this. There's $25,000 left over. That's their publishing income. And that's coming through a specific entity that they've created. Okay. And now that's going to be taxed at the corporate rate of 21%. That means that out of the $25,000 gross that their publishing entity generated this last year, their net will be $19,750. All right. So if we add $19,750 to the $66,000 that they netted from their joint income, that's a total of $85,750. Now the difference here is $7,750. That is almost 10% of scenario one's or scenario A's net of $78,000. That's an unbelievable boost to your yearly income just by setting up a separate entity that you can channel your money, your publishing money through. It makes a lot of sense to do this, right? Now, publishing is very powerful, and by law, the publisher controls the copyright. So another benefit of having your own publishing entity is the actual liability protection that you get through that entity. All right. So let's say that you were to have some lawsuit that came up. We'll say it's a copyright infringement issue. The person who's suing you is only going to be able to get the assets of the actual company. All right. They're not going to be able to come to you and take your home and take your car and take your boat and all the other cool things that you have. The only stuff that they can actually go after and sue would be the assets of your publishing entity. So you as a human being are getting the liability protection, the actual individual liability protection that you're offered by setting up an actual company. All right. So if you're going to set up a little corporation or even an LLC. All right. So that's another benefit that you get. But there's one more benefit as well. At some point, most of us are going to want to buy a house, or we're going to need to buy a car, right? And we're going to need to take out a loan especially a house. These are, a little bit more expensive than a car. So you're going to need to take out a loan. There are companies out there, companies such as Sound Royalties or Royalty Exchange, which will essentially loan you or buy your royalties. They'll loan you money against your royalties, or they'll buy your royalties from you. This is a great way that we as musicians can leverage our publishing to help us actually invest in other, pieces of property and investments in our life. Okay, so you have Sound Royalties, you have Royalty Exchange. As long as we keep good, solid books for our publishing company, we can leverage that publishing company to generate, income through those companies, or, even if you're doing really good, you could, show that to a bank as well. So those are 3 reasons why having your own publishing company is beneficial. You have the tax, financial aspect, you have the liability coverage, and then you have the opportunities to leverage your publishing for loans or to sell your publishing down the road. All right. Hope that clears that up for you and gets you thinking about setting up your own publishing company. If you have not done one with your PRO, then I highly encourage you this week to set up your own publishing company. All right. We'll see you soon.